A new survey from Not4Dating.com found 30% of people regret a falling out they had with a friend, but they cannot bring themselves to make up with that person. Well, joining us this morning is therapist and relationship coach Rick Brown. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good to be here.
Good to see you. Does this really come down to pride and how hard it is to swallow that and make up with someone?
Well, often if you think about these breakups, they're usually because there's a deep hurt or somebody's really angry. And even if you stay with the ones who are really angry, if you dig deep enough, you'll find the hurt. And so often it is pride and or the fear of getting hurt again. I don't want to expose myself to that.
So should we be the first person to extend the olive branch and say, you know what, I want to make up? It's really hard to do, but should we?
It is hard to do, but I think you have to really examine your motive. Am I wanting to reach out because I'm still angry and I wanted to get back, I still have more to say? Or am I really feeling a deep regret and a real loss of the relationship? I think if it comes from that sense of feeling that loss and a deep regret, you'll probably have more success in reaching out.
So if we're feeling that loss and we miss that person in our life, how do you start that conversation?
Well, the first thing you should do is really humble yourself, and that is, when in doubt, say something vulnerable, like, this has really been hard for me to call you, but I really have been missing our relationship. I really have felt hurt. I feel regret. To be humble and to be vulnerable. Oh,
it's so hard to do, but that's great advice.
It is hard.
So if your friend says, okay, let's meet up, what should we do then?
Well, then I think it would be helpful to summarize what you think has been hurtful for them. Rather than going in to state your case, you would go in and say, you know, I know we had a hard time. Here's what I think you were upset about. Do I really have that? Is that what you were hurt about? And then if you're willing to listen to them, I think they'll be more open to hearing from you.
I love that, because a lot of times we talk about us and how we feel, but if you put it on them and say, I understand you're hurt.
Well, I want to understand it. You know, the idea of seeking first to understand before trying to be understood.
And that's really the basics for all communication. We need to listen sometimes and not be the one who's speaking.
It is,
right?
It is. And that's hard for us to do, because we really often want to get our point across. But you're going to have better chance of getting your point across if you're willing to listen to the other person first.
Now, is there a time when we should X the relationship out altogether and not try to make up?
Well, I think if you think about like sticking your toe in the water, you know, if you get a good vibe from the person, then you would say a little bit more, you might be a little bit more vulnerable. But if right away you get a cold shoulder or a hurtful comment back, then you probably want to protect yourself and not go much further.
And does it also matter what they did to you that caused the relationship to break up, or should we kind of give everyone a second chance?
Well, but that's where, again, I think you have to examine yourself, and what is your motive for really trying to reconnect? Is it because you're trying to get back and let somebody know how you were really hurt, or are you really feeling regretful and wanting to reestablish that connection?
All right, good stuff. Rick Brown, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Always great to be with you.